Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson, where this weekend we'll be doing absolutely nothing because for once there's no pay-per-view this coming.
We should get the Friendo Awards up this weekend.
I had a couple ideas for that. So yeah, we can definitely talk about it. Because there's a couple different things that we probably have on our calendar that we probably need to do, including the Friendo Awards, of course. But yeah, I'm trying to think what's going on this week. Tomorrow we got our Impact live stream here on Twitch.
Well, of course, tonight is Raw. Get excited.
Tonight's Raw. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen with new WWE champion The Miz. Larson WrestleVotes might have some confirming information about that.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch Elimination Chamber, this all kind of falls in line with what we saw. So given what happened last night at Chamber, of course, Miz successfully cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase after Bob Lashley came in, beat the hell out of Drew. But that stemmed from a conversation we saw prior to the main event, which saw MVP talking to Miz backstage. So the most recent report from WrestleVotes, given all that information, is hardly a surprise, but definitely seems like we're getting Lashley versus Drew at Mania. That's what WrestleVotes had to say. Quote, "It's that time of year, lots of misinformation from sources, which happens around Mania. However, from source, what does B/W mean? Misinformation.
Lots of between sources?
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Okay. However, from source, WWE title match The Miz is not scheduled to be involved as of now. Bob Lashley WrestleVote's emphasis is."
So, I mean, we had talked about this pretty exhaustively on our Elimination Chamber recap last night, Larson. Like you said, this is hardly a surprise, but it is good to get, somebody like WrestleVotes or an account like WrestleVotes, which has had some correct information in the past, has a decent track record, to sort of confirm for all of us people who are worried, wow, maybe are they going to do, is Miz going to main event night one of WrestleMania?
It was going to be Miz versus Bad Bunny for title, main event night one.
Oh, boy. Whoa, boy. That'd break the internet. So that's good to know. I'm actually kind of looking forward to Raw tonight because I think Bob Lashley's going to have a prominent spot. We're going to get MVP.
Oh, man, it should be as prominent as hoisted up that WWE title tonight. You want to get some excitement going for Raw?
In the first hour, Larson.
Do it right away.
In the first hour.
Do it right away.
Before the first commercial break, even. How about that?
Yeah.
I think that'd be great.
Bob Lashley breaks the Miz in half, wins the title. And then,
how about this? Keith Lee comes in, second hour, beats Riddle for the U.S. title. He joins the Hurt Business. Hurt Business fulfills the golden promise.
They got to have, if the Hurt Business are fortifying their ranks, solidifying themselves as top faction on Raw.
Oh, yeah.
You got to address what's going on between Cedric and Shelton. If you really want to book them to be a powerful, cohesive unit, they have to do something about that.
Yeah.
Set him, what's his name? Dr. Shelby?
Yeah. Right.
The guy that helped out Daniel Bryan and Kane with their issues.
Who's that lady they had on, was it Backstage? With the funny skits when she's doing therapy and stuff? That was pretty funny stuff. I like that. I forget her name, but she was funny.
So you got to, it's been such a prominent storyline, you got to address it in some capacity.
Yeah, right.
Even if it's just like a throwaway thing. Just address it.
I want
Just don't ignore it.
Cedric needs to try to politic his way into that title shot. Like, hey, you know what? Bob Lashley can't be trusted. He's like, he's turning into this monster guy. Let Prime Alexander in that spot. What a bunch of marks we are. Let a fantasy book in this stuff. Man, let's keep it real here. Of course, Sasha Banks doesn't get more real than this because she was shooting from the hip on the latest Broken Skull sessions, and she discussed why she took a leave from WWE following WrestleMania 35, and these transcripts come to you from Wrestling Inc. Is there any Austin quotes in here that I can do my Austin? Should I just do
these are all from Sasha.
This sounds like a good watch. I gotta check this out.
If you want to toss in some.
All right. So hey, Sasha Banks, you left after WrestleMania 35. Rumor was you and Bayley were on the floor crying and whining. What was that all about? And so she says, depression was taking over. My mind was taking over. My thoughts were taking over. This place was being bigger than me. And I really, really lost myself because for a good 7 years, I didn't even hear my real name. I didn't hear Mercedes anymore. All I heard was Sasha Banks. And traveling on the road, we only get to 1 to 2 days off. I couldn't even look at myself. I didn't even know who the hell I was, how I was going into work, how angry I was going in, how sad I was. I was not the person that I dreamt to be. It hit the fan, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't lose myself. So I said, you know what? I got to take a step away and find myself again, and I got to be brave about that. And that was probably one of the hardest things I had to do, ask to leave the WWE. I asked to leave, and Vince was like, no. He said no. He said, I'm gonna give you 30 days to think about it, and I took more than 30 days. She was out for a while, huh?
Yeah, like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah. That's good, man. You know, there's a lot of talk about, you know, like when Undertaker says things like, you know, back when men were men and they had knives and guns and drugs and stuff. The kind of life that these entertainers lead. I mean, things are obviously a lot different now. They're not traveling, but yeah. and the house show, the traveling aspect might be brought down quite a bit. But that being said, I don't know if they have somebody on staff to help with this kind of thing, but the mental health of the wrestlers really is something that probably needs to be kept tabs on.
And thankfully, it seems like, you know, as an observer, you don't have as many instances of people maybe self-medicating to deal with, you know, the issues that are brought up being away from home, like 80% of the year. You know, being on the road, Sasha talks about, you know, how this business is kind of all encompassing, you know, and it can get to you mentally. And if it's a thing where if it's soft to deal, as Undertaker puts it, soft to deal with these issues in a healthy manner, as in stepping away, kind of finding yourself and rediscovering one's love for the business, as opposed to just continuing on and traveling everywhere with a gun or knife in your bag and drinking. I kind of feel like the healthier way to go about things is to take some time off and step away.
Yeah, I mean, and the person that she's speaking to here, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, how many times have we heard during his show when he talks about when he left over the Brock Lesnar thing?
Yeah.
And you know, he was just you know, soaking down energy drink after energy drink.
He was burnt out.
He was burnt out. I mean, the same thing with CM Punk. You know, it's like, I wonder how many more years, how many more classic moments could we have gotten from these, you know, wrestlers if they just sort of were taken care of a bit better, if they had somebody to say, hey, this is bad for everything for you.
I mean, being out there wrestling 300 days a year, taking bumps on the mat, you know, being on the road all the time, that's got to be trying on one's mental and physical health.
Yeah.
And it has been probably since the advent of the pro wrestling business as we know it now. People have dealt with it in various ways in the past, and I'm happy that people now feel comfortable enough that they can say, I need to step away. Now, I know, like, if I don't know if everybody's in a position where they feel like they can do that. Like Sasha, you know, she's top of the card.
Yeah, sure.
So it's, you know, she's in a position where I'm sure she can go to Vince, and Vince will, you know, granted said, no, you can't leave, but I'll give you 30 days to think about it. But, you know, like, I don't know if anybody else lower on the card would feel like they're in a position to do that without facing, first of all, a no, and then retribution for asking, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's unfair. I mean, if anybody feels like they need time off of the road to get themselves right, that should take precedence, you know?
Yeah. No,
yeah, people's
I
health and well-being
agree.
should come first and foremost.
I'm looking forward to watching this Broken Skull session. A lot of people here in chat are talking about other things. White Brownie here in chat mentioned. She also pretty much confirmed they find out about changes from Twitter. That's not that's a whole other thing. You know, when it comes to like draft things and storyline stuff, would it be nice, I would assume, to hear about that from, like, you know, internally first before it's put out in PR? But that goes back so long, and I would imagine that's just one of those things you probably get used
one of the episodes of Something to Wrestle With where Pritchard was talking about, like, you know, for the draft stuff. Yeah, we didn't tell them because we want their real reactions when they get drafted.
Which there's something to be said for that, I would think.
There's something to be said for that, yeah.
But
like,
also,
you know, a handful of people will know, but otherwise, like, no one knows.
Also, on top of that, dude, I mean, wasn't there one of those drafts where Triple H was drafted to Raw or to SmackDown and then back to Raw again?
Yeah,
During the draft, they're still coming up with the stuff. So that isn't as shocking to me. But, I mean, yeah, I get it. Like, matches are pulled or matches are changed, and it shows up on Twitter before the wrestlers are told. I don't know. I mean, to me, that's a bit less. I mean, that sucks, but it's a bit less of a concern than.
I mean, I would get from a perspective. I know it was brought up in the Pritchard thing about, the draft was, it would potentially uproot wrestlers,
relationships,
the habits, the road habits they have, who they may have traveled with, all that stuff would have to change essentially on a dime with zero preparation in advance,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, in one sense, it'd be nice to know. I understand they want to get these reactions from people at the same time. These people, they're human beings, too. They have lives.
Yeah, they are, man. They're not just... They're just wrestlers. They're entertainers.
So, we got some unfortunate injury news here. First, in New Japan Pro Wrestling, they announced early today, Hiromu Takahashi had, quote, sustained a left shoulder injury and will be unable to compete on tonight's card at Kurikan Hall, citing an injury the ticking time bomb suffered on February 19th. And noted that Hiromu was, quote, undergoing medical evaluation and that further updates on his condition will be released as it become available. Well, shortly thereafter, New Japan tweeted out an update, quote, breaking after medical assessment, Hiromu Takahashi's left pectoral injury will leave him out of action for an estimated 6 months. More information will follow. So, of course, he is the current junior heavyweight champion. No news on what they may do with that particular title.
Scramble.
While he's
do a
out.
Scramble.
With injury, but that's a bummer. He's been back, about a year and change?
Has it been a year already? Wow, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, about a year and change. And to see him go out with another injury is a bummer because he's spectacular. He's
spectacular.
One of the best performers in the entire world.
He's a once-in-a-generation talent, man. That guy, he's something else. But, obviously this leaves room for LP and his loaded boot to come in, get that title. He'll be a new champion. This is a total bummer, though. This is absolutely a bummer. Also a bummer. AEW Dark Order star Anna Jay. She's been injured, according to AEW's Twitter account. This was just this morning, or actually about an hour ago.
Not that long ago, yeah.
Yeah. It says here, Anna Jay was injured training and can't compete tonight. Anna requires shoulder surgery and is expected to miss 6 to 12 months. She's replaced in the tournament by, who is this?
Maddie Renkowski,
a student and protege of Thunder Rosa. So that's cool. Our best wishes go out to Anna Jay. That's really sad. She's I think she's got a pretty bright future ahead of her, man. I think she's really terrific. You can just see in the ring the work that she's been putting on is every time she steps in the ring, she's like that much better, Yep. So it's cool stuff.
It is
also cool stuff. Cal Jack, our pal Cal, was at Bloodsport 5 this past weekend.
Oh, wrecking Super Beast.
Super Beast. Medium Beast at best. But, man, Cal Jack made him pass out to a head and arm triangle.
Yeah, ouch. Man, it was pretty good. He dominated that bout. Super Beast got a few kicks in. Cal shook him off. Would just then slam Super Beast to the mat, either via some sort of gut wrench type move or something else. He destroyed Super Beast. This card I thought was pretty solid, top to bottom. I might have enjoyed this more than Bloodsport 4. Definitely enjoyed it more than Bloodsport 3. It doesn't been bad. I just thought the matchups top to bottom are all really good. Run through it real quick. Calder McCall tapped out bad dude Tito. Calvin Tankman beat the heck out of Nolan Edwards. Ref stopped it because Tankman was just dropping shots on him.
You know what, man? I hope Nolan Edwards takes his experience at Bloodshot 45 and takes it into Bloodshot or Bloodsport.
Bloodshot. You think back to Valiant Comics, huh?
I was. And takes this experience and maybe comes back stronger, right?
Yeah. I mean, Nolan Edwards, he's probably the smallest competitor in this whole thing, and stepped up to two of the larger wrestlers.
You got put through a wall, and then ref.
Yeah, Calvin Tankman's fist pretty much driven into his face repeatedly.
Oh, that Calvin Tankman's a big dude too.
He's huge.
Oh my
He's
God.
huge. Steve mentioned Cal Jack defeated Super Beast. Royce Isaacs defeated Alex Coughlin with the Dragon Sleeper. Rocky Romero defeated Simon Grimm with the Cross Arm Breaker. Dirty Daddy Chris Dickinson finally got a Bloodsport win, tapping out JR Kratos to a chokehold.
What? Kratos is huge. How's anybody tap that guy out? That's crazy.
Jeff Cobb beat
loudest
Filthy...
chop I ever heard, Larson.
Oh my god.
Kratos and some guy.
Poor Aaron Sky. His chest basically got caved in that day. Jeff Cobb defeated Tom Lawler with Hurt Lock, Full Nelson. And then the main event, which was really good, Mox defeated Davey Boy Smith after a paradigm shift. Got a TKO win via paradigm shift.
I love that. That's like in the Bloodsport 3.
Yeah, Davey Boy Smith beat someone with a powerbomb.
He beat, was it Josh Alexander? I think it was Josh. I think it was Impact star Josh Alexander.
Yeah,
beat him with the power. I love that.
Great.
I think that's great. More power moves should warrant ref stoppages. I want to give a quick. So Bloodsport 6 was also announced.
Yep.
And Mox versus Josh Barnett's going to main event that. So Josh Barnett's coming back from behind commentary to main event the show.
He's really good on commentary on these Bloodsport
He is really good.
shows.
He's really good. Yeah. He knows all those guys so well, seemingly. That's happening April 8th from Tampa. I also wanted to give a shout out to some new patrons here at patreon.com/Steven Larson. We have MassGamer99, Robert Priddle, Jacob Morris, Cameron Grimes' financial advisor, Mecca Rick. That's it. And most of those patrons get access to Friendo Club TV, which is our bonus content. You can also get Friendo Club TV access by hitting join on YouTube and becoming a channel member. And you also can throw us a Twitch sub over at twitch.tv/Steven Larson. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing a live Power Rank exclusive for Friendo Club TV members. On Wednesday, we do an Ask Steven Larson where no wrestling questions are allowed. Thursdays, we put up a vintage 10 for the win. And, of course, Fridays is GTA Online with Friendos Day, which is wild fun. The intern chooses a bunch of maps that he is intimately familiar with and then proceeds to win all those matches and proclaims, of course, that he's never even tested them out. But I think we're on to him, Larson. I think we're on to the intern.
Yeah, I think we are. We would do a Raw preview now. Unfortunately, there is none. No Raw preview.
I'm on this. I'm on this. I'm on this.
All
right. I'm gonna go to the one source I always rely on, Larson.
And what's that?
WWE's Twitter account.
I've literally been refreshing.
Whoa. Just whoa.
Nothing.
Hold on.
Nothing. I went back
12 minutes ago.
Nothing.
12 minutes ago, they tweeted this out. The Miz became the very first superstar in this club with his. Oh, you already mentioned that.
I already mentioned that. Ryan Hoover. Yeah. He's a sub here on Twitch that says Enforcer's the best. Thank you, Ryan.
Nothing. Enforcer. Oh, he is the best. Thanks
Enforcer
to the Enforcer,
is the
by
best.
the way,
Enforcer.
for hanging out with us yesterday.
Yeah. All right, let's do some questions. This is from B-Man. Patrick Sparks, book Dijak ditching Retribution and going after Riddle's U.S. title, culminating a triple threat with Riddle, Lee, and Dijak at Mania. So, Mustafa Ali, so he's been taking a bunch of L's. Retribution's been taking a bunch of L's, and he just always gets in their face and starts yelling at him. At one point, Dijak rips his mask off and says, "Oh, I've had enough. I'm going to Arby's."
Yeah.
And he goes to Arby's and he sits and reflects on his career, especially on the main roster.
Meat Mountain? Meat Mountain?
I'm thinking he's got like a sample. He got an RBQ, an RB melt.
Damn, I gotta go to Arby's this weekend.
And then just like a couple standard roast beef, all with the horsey sauce. He likes his horseradish. And then he says, "All right, well, this is what I gotta do. I gotta establish me, Dijak, not as part of Retribution, but me." So he goes out there and he just issues a challenge to Matt Riddle, and Matt Riddle's like, "Bro." Kind of laughs him off, like, "What have you done? You haven't won anything." And then so Dijak says, "Oh, I'll show you." Essentially, issues an open challenge. I don't know who's going to come out. Somebody who's pretty athletic but can take an L. So Dijak can show off.
Ricochet.
So they have like this crazy, super great match. Yeah. Dijak picks up the win. Bang! Feast your eyes.
Yeah.
All that. Riddle's like, "Okay, bro, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I see what you're doing now, but I need to see more." Meanwhile, at the same time, Keith Lee comes back and says, "Hey, I wasn't in that U.S. title match. If I was in that match, things would have been different. I want to crack at it." Riddle's like, "Okay, bro, but I got Dijak over here too, but I don't make the matches. You got to talk to Adam Pearce, bro." Yeah. So Lee goes talk to Adam Pearce. They have a number one contender thing. Dijak catches wind of this. So he interferes in that. Keith Lee gets upset, Spirit Bomb on Dijak. And so we get a thing between them. They reignite their rivalry from NXT. Meanwhile, Riddle's all, bro, these guys are pretty good.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the match is made for WrestleMania. Riddle, Lee, Dijak, and it's a ladder match. And on the if you go up for the ladder, not only is the Intercontinental or the U.S. title there, but also a bag of Arby's.
Oh, wow. I was going to say Meat Mountain then. You bring the Meat Mountain in there.
There you go.
He's like, wait, what? Secret menu? Oh, yeah. I'm all about it.
Oh, yeah. Give me 5 of those.
You can have the title. Give me the Meat Mountain. That's great. I can't top that. Juan Guerrero Jr. I'm in Texas. My power was out since Monday and barely came back Friday night. It was miserable and freezing, but I know many more of my fellow Texans went through much worse, and my prayers go out to them. No question this week. Just want to send out positive vibes to my state. Our hearts go out to Texas and what they've been going through.
It's been awful.
I'm glad to know that you're okay.
Yeah.
But some of the stories coming out of Texas, somebody needs to be held accountable for this, man, because
you got that right.
It's not good.
Sean Lathrop, how would LA Knight react to Miz's cash-in?
Look at that dummy Drew McIntyre celebrating after his match like a dummy. Yeah. Miz really put the shoes to him, didn't ye? That's the only shoe reference I got. It's the only
I'm kind of low on shoe references today. I was thinking about that one too.
I was trying to think about it. I don't have any. Look at Bob Lashley out there tearing apart Drew McIntyre like my soul's got torn apart when I was out on the playgrounds. Again, I got nothing.
Wearing these cheap Kmart shoes my parents bought me.
We were dirt poor, yeah.
Greg Morris. Never mind. Who could be getting the Kofi treatment if crowds were around? They would have gone nuts for Cesaro's pull-ups on the Chamber. I mean, Kofi Mania was a pretty special circumstance. Someone who'd been around for a long time, never gotten a title opportunity. I know Cesaro's been around for a number of years, but it hasn't been a decade yet in WWE on the main roster. And someone who was already pretty well decorated in terms of titles, but never, even got close to get a main title shot. Kofi was a very special situation that I don't know if there's really anybody around now that's had that tenure, that's had that great of a career without getting the top title shot.
I'd say it's Cesaro.
He's probably the closest, but I mean,
yeah.
I think he debuted in Maine in 2014. So yeah, that's
was
what,
it
7
only
years.
2014? Yeah, that's 7 years though. And he's always been at that one spot, and he's never really elevated past that spot, even though for the case for Cesaro, and I agree with you. I think that Kofi was a unique case for multiple reasons. But the case for Cesaro is everybody has always said this guy can do so much more. And he's just like Kofi, he is always one of the more creative guys in the ring. After this long of being kind of in the same spot, he is always finding new fun things to do in the ring, which I can't imagine is easy to do, but he always seems really into it. So yeah, I mean, Cesaro is the closest one for sure.
Mr. Dope, what are the odds of Miz losing the title to Lashley tonight? Dope says 100%. Here's the only thing that might preclude it from being 100%. If Miz does, if Miz does the thing where he's like, all right, I'll give you your title shot tonight. DQ, something wonky. He just runs off, gets counted out, something where, they stretch it out and prolong it. The issue with that is I feel like that's going to shortchange Lashley's title reign because we already know it's probably going to end at WrestleMania if he's going to be facing Drew. So the quicker you get that belt on Lashley, get him some title defenses, really build him up as a potentially dominant champion. Because if he just gets the belt at Fastlane, doesn't defend it, then loses it to Drew or WrestleMania. I mean, it's great that Lashley won the title, but he didn't really have a reign then. He'd have a 3-week reign with maybe one defense. Give him some title defenses. Have him put that belt on him immediately.
Dude, I don't know that it's... You've already got... I mean, I tend to agree with you that I'm not 100% sure that Roman will lose that title to Edge. I don't know, man. I don't know that you have if you have Edge beat Roman, you've got that huge feel good moment. I'm not sure Lashley goes there and loses the title.
Well, I don't think it's a given per se, but I'd feel pretty confident going into it sitting here now. Granted, a month and a half out of Mania, I don't know what story they're going to set up to be told going into Mania per se. That Drew will get that title back, but
I mean,
if Lashley gets it
is,
and successfully retains at Mania, I will be super happy.
Yeah, same. I'll be rooting for him. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I think that what would be great? It'd be awesome to show that they actually do have some like long-term, at least some like, relatively long-term story planning. Is if Miz tries to cop out, like they do this for the main event of Raw tonight. Miz tries to cop out in some way, like you said, but in some way that violates the letter of the law. And in the same way that Pierce gave him that briefcase back and said, by the letter of the law, you get this back. Pierce comes out and says, hey, Miz, sorry, but by the letter of the law, this match has to continue. And then Lashley, and it's such a babyface thing for Lashley to then win the title that way, so it's probably not going to happen. But I wouldn't mind that.
The intern here doing his research says since the start of 2020, The Miz has won exactly 2 singles matches. One against Kofi on January 10th, and the other against Otis October 25th.
Okay, yeah, those are the 2, and then
won
Drew was the
Money in the
third one.
Bank.
And that's since January 2020.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was 3 up until 3 as of last
3
night.
of the last 3 wins in 13 months, pretty much.
My goodness gracious.
Tom talks rubbish. Would you appear on Desert Island Graps with Tom Campbell of Cultaholic? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
That'd be
If
fun.
you're invited,
That'd
sure.
be a lot of fun. Mr. Sinister, so with The Miz winning the WWE title, and it's most likely scenario that Raw will start with a Miz TV segment, who will fill in for tonight's Going in Raw recap? If the prospect is there of Bob Lashley picking up that title tonight, then we will both be here. We will both watch Raw.
I'll be all about it, man. I'm in it.
Nick, with the rumors of NXT possibly being part of WrestleMania, which NXT title should be defended? One of the matchups for said titles. The NXT title should be defended. Give me Finn versus Adam Cole.
I will never deviate from this answer. I want Finn versus Walter.
Well, yeah, that's ideal. That'd be the. I mean, I'm pessimistic it'll happen, but yes, that'll be great. Matthew McCoskey, Larson said my idea also could see Lashley winning the title at Fastlane. Lashley versus Drew at Mania, also at Fastlane. Though I want to see Drew versus Sheamus. What else do you want to see happening at Fastlane? Matthew says, I hope Keith Lee beats Riddle for the U.S. title soon. That would be great. I would anticipate Drew versus Sheamus for sure happening at Fastlane. They got to have their blow off before Mania.
They might just do that at. I mean, depending on what happens, depending on how fast they're going to take things, they might do Drew versus Sheamus, like, I don't know, tonight or something.
Depends how quickly they want to move things along, I guess.
Yeah.
The Wild Dude, if by some divine providence WWE actually decides to work with another company, who should it be, and what sort of feud angle would you like to see spawn from this partnership the most? The Wild Dude says, for me, it's with AEW. Current Jon Moxley versus heel Roman might actually be amazing.
I'm going to go with they should work with Dragon Gate, because then you can take Ricochet, Akira Tozawa, and Apollo Crews back to their roots.
There you go.
And have them tear it up and show it. Man, I was watching some of that stuff on Big Willie-ism's Twitch stream, and Akira Tozawa was just such a cool dude, and now they got him in this goofy ass like he's still doing the ninja stuff.
I know.
And I'm like, what the fuck, man?
I know. He's so good.
He's so good, and I'm so over that shit. Like, put guys together. Like, I like what they're doing with Apollo right now, and I really want Apollo to win that Intercontinental. I want Apollo versus Big E to be like a big thing, and just keep on going. They had like the kayfabe injury update on Big E too. It was just
I saw that too. Yeah,
he lost a little bit of arm weakness, so I'm sure he'll probably be back on SmackDown on Friday.
Yeah. Sober Chad, what would you consider to be the most prestigious championship in any promotion at this time? So, if I'm reading this correctly, what's the most prestigious wrestling championship in the world currently?
The biggest deal, I think, right now I mean, okay, if you take like the who's the bigger mainstream thing or whatever. I mean, obviously it's WWE, so it'd be like Roman's title or whatever. But I mean, I think that like the biggest shocks these days come from somebody winning the IWGP title. I think that's where it's got the history. It's got
the lineage of history.
The lineage is so pure with that. Whereas WWE's titles are so all over the place. So I don't know. It's either that or I guess, they have brought the one thing that I do appreciate at WWE is that they brought the Universal and WWE titles back up to sort of even status.
Oh, Universal title, because Roman has it now, is far and away above where the WWE title is currently.
Well, like at this, but like when Lashley gets it back, would you still say that? Or when Lashley gets it, would you still say that?
It wouldn't be quite the disparity, but I still feel like the Universal title, because Roman has it, is held in higher regard within the company than the WWE title is.
Yeah, but not like it used to be though, dude. Like back when it was like, Alberto had the big, like
well, obviously not.
When the big gold belt was a thing.
The World Heavyweight Championship was basically a mid-card title back then. Yes, I agree. It's not, the disparity isn't that huge, but when Roman says, he told Drew that Drew is essentially the B champion, I kind of feel like that's how WWE views it too. Roman is the A champ, Universal Championship right now, because Roman has it, is the A championship.
It's still a lot better than it used to be.
Oh yeah, it is. But there's a disparity there. Wolverine, this is a two-part question. Can WWE Network stay on its own even though Peacock is going to own it? And will Peacock recognize that way no one has to sign up for their... And will Peacock recognize that way no one has to sign up for their streaming service? So I guess apparently Fastlane is going to be available on both. They're going to have like that transition.
And then Mania is going to be the first one that's exclusive.
That's exclusively on Peacock, yes.
Yeah.
I imagine the NBC Universal is paying a huge chunk of money to get the network. So I'd be really surprised if the network really existed on its own past March.
Let's see here. Yeah, no, it's gonna be all on Peacock. Will Peacock recognize it that way no one has to sign up for their streaming service? No, people are gonna. Well, I mean, I guess the question is like. So, like, the nature of this question, I think, is like, how is the transition are people going to have to, like, they're going to have to go to sign up to Peacock, right?
No, my understanding is they're going to migrate everybody's network accounts over to Peacock accounts.
Okay, so, like, you go to WWE, typically you go to, like, WWEnetwork.com or whatever, you go to WWE.com
and that'll redirect you to
Peacock.
And then your login stuff should still work there.
Right.
That's what I would assume.
So otherwise, the drop off would be huge.
Yeah, you think so.
Like people having to go through the process again.
I know
they'd lose like half of them.
Yeah, no. Combat Kev, what is more likely to happen at Mania? Edge winning against Roman or Miz still being champion? Edge beating Roman is more likely than Miz walking into Mania as WWE champion.
Yeah,
by
a
whatever.
Long shot. By a long shot.
Yeah. Gareth, Meatloaf and Lasagna face off in the Elimination Chamber. What 4 hearty meals are trapped in the chamber with them, and who goes over? So you got Meatloaf, you got Lasagna. That's 2 of the 6.
Yeah.
I'm going Meatloaf,
hearty meals, beef
lasagna,
stew, maybe.
Prime rib.
Prime rib. You put beef stew in there.
Beef stew. All right.
I'm just thinking of hearty meals.
Yeah. Oh, beef stew sounds good.
Put some chili in there, maybe. Some chili with some cornbread in there.
A macho burrito. One of those foot long tortillas,
Yeah, dude, those are huge.
That is a hearty meal.
That's a hearty meal right there.
And then
what just sits in you like a brick?
Meat Mountain.
Yeah, I'll take a Meat Mountain.
Who goes over? I mean, for me, it's probably Meatloaf. Probably Meatloaf goes over. Meatloaf, or if the macho burrito is the surf and turf one of those two.
That really got you yesterday, huh?
Man, it was so good.
Yeah, dude.
It was so good.
The hot tag to what were they called? Limon something or another?
Oh, it was so good.
Post Limon.
Dalen Dula, recently your dominant hand went on strike. It claims your other hand is not pulling its weight on the team and is demanding that you trade it away for a new appendage. What pro wrestler do you ask to mediate the conflict between your hands and get them working together again? Oh, it's Adam Pearce. I get Adam Pearce.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to go with Sonya Deville now. Because Adam Pearce, he's been like a little bit on the bullied side lately, the Roman and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think anybody's going to be bullying Sonya Deville anytime soon.
Yeah, probably not. Lord Ziffer, let's say for argument's sake, The Miz makes it past Mania with the WWE Championship. Aside from Morrison, who would you like to see win the championship off Miz that has never won a world title before? So apart from Morrison, someone who hasn't won a world title before, beats Miz for it. Damian Priest.
Yeah, I mean, there's a story there at least.
Keith Lee.
Go with.
I mean, there's so many names.
Yeah, there's a lot of names. I would go with Cedric Prime Alexander.
There you go. Or Bob Lashley. Because Bob Lashley's never won the WWE title before. Anthony, which two wrestlers from any promotion would you choose to make giants so they can have a Godzilla versus King Kong style fight? Who wins and where does this Clash of the Titans take place?
Well, if you want experience, you got Suzuki.
Yeah.
And was Kota Ibushi in that movie as well? Didn't he fight some monsters?
Yep. There you go, Suzuki and Kota Ibushi, because they have
the experience right there, man. But otherwise, it's Braun. I feel like Braun would be actually pretty good at fighting monsters.
Braun and Great O'Khan.
Sounds like a guy who would kill monsters. I mean, he beat Tenzan.
Will Combs, if you had to create a comic book about any current non-WWE wrestler or wrestling angle, who or what would it be about?
Oh, well, I had a planned Steven Larson comic book, a second one, where you and I go time traveling to the old carnival days of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think something happens to, like, I blink you out of existence or something.
Well, that's a bummer.
And then I have to go back to the future and get Caljack to come back in time to take on some of those carnival wrestlers. Some of those.
So the answer is Cal.
So it'd be Cal, yeah.
All right,
but it'd be us and Cal. Time traveling Caljack.
Minoru Suzuki fighting giant monsters.
That's good.
Blake Elizondo, what, if anything, does WWE being live and not taped right now add to the product? Well, I mean, there's always a premium on live content, whether there's fans there or not. I think that, the fact that it's live, that anything could potentially happen without it being spoiled in advance.
Yeah.
Usually. I think that's kind of it.
That's pretty much it.
NJWP, what has Austin Theory learned from each of his mentors? So Andrade, Seth, John.
Let's see here. From Seth, he learned. I mean, maybe he learned how to, form. What is it called when it's not a nonprofit when you have taxes? He learned about tax exempt status for religions. And then from Andrade, he learned un poquito español, just a little bit of español, a little bit of Spanish there.
And from John,
man, he's learning a lot.
Yeah, what hasn't he learned from John?
Although he has gotten stupider under John.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like the reverse. The way you have to like unlearn before you can learn.
There you go. Jason Lewis, this is you probably won't like this one, but we can end on this one.
Okay.
Since you guys started it on Matt Chat, I believe Ross brought it up. Book the card for a WWE Pixar invasion. So obviously on the Pixar side of things, you have the Incredibles leading the way.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
You have the Incredibles versus Hurt Business.
Wait, why would I not like this question?
Well, you don't really generally like the recasting type stuff, or
yeah, okay. Well, this is a little bit different, but I understand. Okay, so who's invading who?
The Pixar universe is invading WWE.
Okay. Well, I'll go with let's see here. I guess we're doing like dream matchups or something.
Sure. Yeah.
So it'd be like was Mr. Incredible? Is that his name? I don't know what his name is.
Yeah, Mr. Incredible.
I never really saw the second one. I heard it was good.
Yeah, second one I thought was better than the first one.
So in Mr. Incredible versus Roman Reigns, because head of the table versus head of the table.
That's good.
You know,
That's good.
Family
That's
versus
good.
family.
That's good.
Pulled that one out of my ass. Good job.
Good.
Me.
Good.
Woody versus Cameron Grimes.
Good. Mm-hmm. Good. Or also Buzz Lightyear versus Cameron Grimes.
Oh, to the
Battle
moon.
on the moon.
Good. Battle on the moon. That's good. I was going to say Buzz Lightyear versus Beal Armstrong, but then I remembered Beal Armstrong is a creation of you, not of WWE.
Well, it's not a creation of me. Someone else actually created Beal Armstrong. The character Beal Armstrong.
He brought him to life. Okay, that's good. Let's see here. Well, like Coco would take on. Was Coco the name of the kid?
I actually never saw that one. Never saw the movie.
Well, the kid from Coco.
Yeah.
Coco's the grandma. Wait, who's Coco in that movie? Anyways, the kid from Coco, he can talk to dead people. He's gonna fight the Fiend.
Oh, good.
And there's like always playgrounds and stuff with the Fiend, like Alexa and stuff. Like, yeah.
That's good. That's good.
I've seen Coco so many times. How do I not know who Coco is?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen it.
What are you, man, but a Steve?
I've heard that song.
Plot. Yeah, Coco's a grandma. Okay.
Okay.
I got that right.
To King Vic with 1,000 bits here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here on the Twitch. Here on the podcast. What are you laughing at?
Nothing at all.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Till next time. We'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.